moving on into NFL. First is the Bills minus 11 going into New Jersey playing the Jets. Who you got on this one, Cole?
I'll be taking the Bills. I hate any double-digit covers in the NFL, but at the end of the day, I think the Bills are right now the best team in the NFL, especially with the Jets losing Brees Hall to the torn ACL is out for the year. Their rushing attack is not going to be able to do anything on that Buffalo defense, and obviously everyone talks about Josh Allen, Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs. That offense is incredible, but what that front four and those linebackers do for Buffalo are going to wreak havoc. I could see this one really getting out of hand. I think I think they're really going to give Zach Wilson some trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also on Bills minus 11. I also hate double digit spreads, but like you said, the Bills are the best team, if not the best team, top three. But I think they're the best team right now. And I looked at their injury report earlier. A couple of those defense players are questionable now,
Mm.
uh, so that could help a lot. Like you said, their front four is disgusting. I don't trust Zach Wilson enough. If Joe Flacco was playing, and I don't like Joe Flacco, I think they might be able to get a little cover because 11's a lot. But I'm pretty sure Zach Wilson has like one, maybe two touchdowns over the past 3 or 4 weeks. And I don't think that's enough, especially without Brees Hall, to get it done against a high-powered offense like the Bills.
No, and especially with a mobile quarterback like Zach Wilson, um, they're not going to be able to do much with their running backs. But even when Zach Wilson is getting out of the pocket, I think guys like Tremaine Edmonds um, and Matt Milano, that linebacker position, really being able to control that escapability of Wilson.
Yeah, and luckily Grayson's on Jets in this one, so we're not we're not
Thank God.
we're not squad riding this one. But yeah, like you said, I think Buffalo's just a powerhouse. I don't think a Zach Wilson led offense right now can, and especially against the Bills defense, like you were saying, when they added Von Miller, it added another element to them that they were
Hmm.
really missing last year, where they probably are in the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Moving on up to the NFC, we got Packers minus 3.5 on the road at the Lions. Um, Grayson has the Lions in this one. I'm also going to go with the Lions at home. I just don't trust Aaron Rodgers. I know he's 18-6 against the Lions. He did lose last year in the last game that they played, but this just feels like, even though the Lions defense is trash, the Packers defense isn't that great, and their offense is even worse. I think they're averaging almost maybe 15 points on the road right now, or their offense is
Hmm.
only averaging like 15 points on the road right now. Playing the Lions, they'll probably get more than that, but I don't. This just feels like a Lions win to me. There's nothing else really to it. What do you got?
I'll be taking the Lions plus 3.5 on this one too. The wide receivers for Green Bay this year, man, it's been horrible. I mean, worse than I think the front office in Green Bay ever expected. Um, you look at guys like Alan Lazard, he's not been that productive. Um, Amari Rogers, not been that good. Romeo Doubs, guys like that have stepped it up a little bit, but overall, it's been really, really bad for them. Maybe this is the game where they get it going against probably the worst defense in the NFL. But regardless, I still see the Lions being able to cover 3.5. I think that offense is very good, and especially with Amon Ross St. Brown being healthy now. I know they did just trade T.J. Hawkinson, but that's going to give my boy James Mitchell more touches. So I'd like to see him get in the end zone this week. I could see the Lions pulling this one out, but I do think they cover regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you were saying, I mean, Alan Lazard might. I think he's back this week. Romeo did have a nasty catch last week, but production-wise, their receivers just haven't been there. Losing
Hmm.
Devontae was a lot more than they expected, and
Yeah.
they have really good run. I mean, AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones are really good, but when you have no threat on the outside to take some of the pressure off of them, you're going to lose production like they've seen this year.
AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones are going to have to really, really step up this week and play really well if the Packers want a chance to win. I think they do, but is it going to be enough
Yeah,
with that passing game?
yeah. Now, we got a little grudge match going on here. As my Panthers travel in to play your Bengals. I believe the line last time I checked it was at 7.5. Grayson's got the Bengals covering the 7.5. What do you got?
I got the Panthers covering 7.5 here. Jamar Chase being out is not as big of a deal as people are making it. Still got two great receivers, Tyler Boyd in the slot, T. Higgins out wide. Um, but what's really going to hurt us in this game is the defense. Chidobe Awuzie, season-ending injury last week. Eli Apple still hampered by a hamstring. Trey Flowers probably going to be out because of injury. And then Mike Hilton was ruled out today as well. So the secondary is just completely depleted. Even with all those injuries, is the Panthers' offense even going to be able to do anything? Like, I think they should do well enough because of all the injuries to cover 7.5. And especially and you look at Carolina's defense with the edge rushers they have, like a guy like Brian Burns. If he's on Jonah Williams, he is going to have a field day. He's going to get after Joe Burrow. So I could honestly see the Panthers pulling this one out and winning. But yeah, definitely sticking with them at plus 7.5.
Don't you try and jinx us like that. I know what you were trying to do with that.
I'm being serious though. Like with that all those guys out on defense, it could be bad.
To be fair, I have Bengals minus 7.5 in this one, even though I'm a Panthers fan. But it's only because I think we've looked a lot better offensively ever since the CMC trade because teams can't just key in on him and we're not just trying to feed him the ball every time. And now that we have PJ back there and he's kind of performed pretty well, but guys are getting a little more open. I think the honeymoon might be over. For me, I think that was kind of just teams weren't prepared for PJ type thing. But like you said, this one's probably been harder for me because of how many injuries you all have. If your secondary wasn't so depleted, I don't think it would be that difficult. But 7.5, I just don't see us scoring. I know you guys are hurt, but I mean our defense has basically outscored our offense this year until the past 2 weeks. So
yeah.
I just don't see us being able to keep up with a high-powered offense like you all. But with your offensive line, we could get some stops needed. I just think that the Bengals can score too much, and we probably can't score enough, and that's why I'm going 7.5. But this one's a toss-up.
I think regardless, this one's a very tough one. Especially due to all the injuries. I think if the Bengals were healthy, I think this line's somewhere probably at 10 or 11 maybe, and I'd feel confident taking the Bengals. But defense and how hard it is, this is a tough one to pick.
Yeah, this one's just kind of flipped the coin up. I landed on Bengals minus 7.5. We'll pray that it hits. But moving on, we got my guy Gino. Like you were saying earlier, dark horse MVP candidate. I mean,
dark horse MVP.
They're traveling into Arizona. They're playing the Cardinals. Cardinals are minus 2.5 favorites now. So what do you have on this?
I feel like this is a tough one, but I'll stick with the hot hand of the Seahawks here if they cover 2.5. I think the injury to Rashad Penny might have actually been the best thing for them, seeing just how good Kenneth Walker is. I mean, he's been incredible the last 4 weeks. And obviously, you talked about Gino, dark horse MVP. I think he's played better than anyone ever thought he could. I mean, he's much, much better than Russell Wilson this year. And also another factor you got to think, Call of Duty just came out. Has Kyler been playing too much?
Yeah. I'm probably.
The Seahawks defense has played much better this year compared to what they were like last year. So sticking with the better team this year, the hot hand, I'll take the Seahawks at minus 2.5.
Yeah. I mean the Cardinals are 1-3 at home this year. I mean after week 8 last year, I think they were like 1-7. They were bad. I don't remember the exact record, but they were very bad after week 8, and that's about when Call of Duty came out, and that's why Call of Duty just came out, so maybe I think it's probably going to start back up. But like you're saying, I got Geno. He's having a year. He's playing good. Kenneth Walker has absolutely became what they expected when they drafted him. I mean, there's not much else to say. They wrote Geno off. He just didn't write back. Give me Seahawks plus 2.5. Last game of the slate, we got the Rams traveling into Tampa. Bucks are -3 favorites. Both teams suck. Grayson's on the Bucks this week. I'm on the Rams only because I think Aaron Donald and that defensive line is going to torture the Bucks offensive line, who has struggled all year, especially the interior offensive line. And Aaron Donald's probably the best defense tackle. I would say he's the best defense tackle, if not top 5, probably. I just don't think that the Bucks offense can do enough, and I'm praying to God that Matt Stafford doesn't throw a fourth quarter interception, because that's all he's known for right now is fourth quarter interception. So I just think that Cooper Kupp might wreak havoc on the injured secondary for the Bucks right now. That's the only reason I'm going with the Rams plus 3.
I'll be taking the Bucks to cover 3 in this one. This one's a tough one because both these teams have just underperformed so much this year. Rams Super Bowl letdown. The Bucks, you don't really know what's happened to them. It really doesn't make sense. But in this one, I think I have to take the better quarterback at home and Tom Brady over Matthew Stafford. I mean, Matthew Stafford's just been bad this year. And again, like you said about Tampa Bay secondary, you do have to worry about someone like Cooper Kupp, who can just absolutely go off and torture someone. But at the end of the day, in a game like this, I'll take the better quarterback. Give me the Bucks -3.
Yeah, that's a good read. Like I was saying, this one's another one. You just toss a coin. Like, both teams have been miserable this year. I really think it might just come down to who has the ball last. Hopefully it's not another 14-12 game like when they played the Packers. So
I could honestly see that, though.
Yeah,
it'd be awful.
Too. All right, so that's what we got. Make sure you check out. I know Grayson's not here, but check out their Twitter and their podcast over there at the 1009 Crew. They're always helping out with sending stuff over for us to pick. He always picks the slates and stuff, so don't forget that. Check us out on TikTok. We'll be posting each game individually. And let's have a day this weekend.